Hello, everybody. This is Brian Keith Noonan. Welcome to High Noon Live. Just had a little camera issue there a second ago, so I'm a minute late here. High Noon Live, what the heck is this? Welcome, Stuart. This is intended to be a midday boost for entrepreneurs.
Hello, everybody.
I'm playing on the other screen. Hold on.
Welcome to High Noon Live.
My bad. I was trying to share it over to my page. So, a midday boost for entrepreneurs, ideas to take you higher and move your life and business forward. My name is Brian Keith Noonan, the One Coach, and I do what I do because life and business aren't separate for entrepreneurs. So when I work with entrepreneurs as a coach, I am not just working with them on their business, but with the whole person, their mindsets, their skill sets, and their business together, and their systems in order to cover all the areas of success. So give me 1 second as this algorithm cranks up. Welcome everybody, and I'm just going to share this over to the page, the One Coach page. If you haven't checked it out, please give it a like so you get notifications on when I'm doing stuff like this, along with other cool stuff that I'm posting for entrepreneurs. So what are we doing here today? The topic is shipping. Who has heard the term shipping? And I don't mean UPS or FedEx. Well, I got that term from Seth Godin. He is an author and speaker and authority in marketing. And I don't think it was in Tribes, actually, though. That's a great book. I'll be mentioning that at some point during today's live. But it talks about two things, actually, starting and shipping. So we're gonna be focusing on shipping today. And what shipping is taking your product, program, or service to market. Okay, so you've got a great creative idea, you put it together, and then I see very often as one of the single greatest points of failure or weakest links in business is that people do not ship. Okay, so we're creative, we've got ideas, we put things together, and they just don't go anywhere. So why the heck would we do that? Hi, Colleen. Michael, good to see you. So the reason this is called Ship or Die, today's episode is called Ship or Die, is that if no matter how creative we are, no matter how many great ideas we have, no matter how much talent we have, no matter how many gifts we have to give to the world, no matter how much good we could do for the world or for our clients, if it doesn't ship, it doesn't have any impact. So since you as entrepreneurs are obviously starters, okay, you may have trouble starting things within your business, but you've already obviously started something. You started a business, you have an idea, you have a product, program, or service, and if it's not having the impact that you want it to have, that's probably in great part because of not being shipped, not being put out there, okay? You're leaders. A tribe needs a leader, okay? There is no tribe without a leader, but there is no leader without a tribe. But you're leaders. So if there aren't people with eyes on your product, program, or service, and it's because you are shy or scared about putting it out to the market, we're going to talk about that today. So why do we stop? Why do we put all these great things together and do all this training and master our craft and not put it out to the world? Well, I would say that it has to do with something that Stephen Pressfield calls resistance. Okay. If you haven't read his book, The War of Art, highly recommended, or Do the Work. Both of those books are really good. But it comes down to fear, that false evidence appearing real, and different things come into play. Okay, we've talked about the lizard brain or amygdala on other episodes of this live broadcast, which is intended to be interactive. So please put your comments in. I can see your comments right in front of me here and be part of the conversation. So our fight or flight mechanism kicks in when it's time to put something out there in public. Like this in itself, for me, is an exercise in shipping. Okay, getting out of my comfort zone, getting on live video, and giving something back to the entrepreneurial community. Because most of us don't have interaction like this on a regular basis. I would suggest getting some in terms of like-minded people that you can talk about the bigger ideas in life and business with. So a mastermind, a coach, an accountability partner of some sort. But nevertheless, in case you don't have that, this is a little bit of a taste of it, and a place for you to come for free and talk about and listen to some positive ideas, positive thinking, and get out of the news or news feed, sensationalism, negativity, et cetera, et cetera. So different things in play here. Perfectionism. Okay, this is a big one, because if we wait around for our idea, our product, program, or service to be perfect, our marketing message to be perfect, we're never going to put it out there. Okay, we have fear of rejection. Okay, what are people going to think? Fear of failure. It might not work. Fear of critics. Okay, people are going to say mean things to me. So how important are these things? Okay, we get into what's our family going to think? What are our friends going to think? But who are you really trying to please, really? Are you trying to please your in-laws and some internet trolls? Or are you trying to serve the community and the tribe that would most benefit from your product, program, or service? Imposter syndrome. Okay, who am I to do this? Who am I to bring this great idea out to the world? Who am I to change the world? Or who am I to charge this much? Or who am I to do these different things? All these things start running rampant in our minds when it's time to ship, or time to take the idea, product, program, service from our mind and our office and our notepad out to the world. But what's at stake here? So if we can't get over this fear, the world gets shortchanged. You get shortchanged, your family gets shortchanged, and your business could very well die. Not to mention your dreams, and it's really a shame that so many good ideas, so many great services that could really help a lot of people never get to the people who really need them. So I would suggest, as a way around this, is looking at these things, write down what you're anxious about when you're getting ready to ship. Right? It's not ready yet, or it's already been done, or it might fail, or what will my mom think about it, or et cetera, all these things, whatever. As silly as they may sound, because I'm getting to that, they really are silly, right? These fears that we have, if we're good at what we do and we have a viable product, program, or service to offer, then there's no reason to hide it from the world. It's actually selfish. So when we're caught up in this whole thing, we're being selfish because, like I said, the world gets shortchanged, or your audience, your customers, your tribes, they get shortchanged, you get shortchanged, and your family gets shortchanged. The business is not going to succeed if you can't ship. So just listing these things out as an exercise. If you're finding resistance to putting something out there, just list them out and go through them one by one and see, really what are they valid concerns? Because it is your lizard brain that is telling you and giving you all that fear. Seth Godin calls it thrashing when we're getting ready to ship something. So all of a sudden, like everything, things need to be changed. It needs this other feature, or it's got to be just this way, just that way, whatever, and we don't get it out there. So if you don't ship, okay, no matter how great your thing is, then you never get the feedback from the market. You never get the data, the essential data that to know, all right, well, is it a good idea? Is it not a good idea? Is it a good idea, but not in the right form or format? Should it be a little different? You don't get into the conversations with people. You don't get the feedback from people. You don't get any of the information that you need, that even if it is a quote unquote failure, you're not going to have, because you're all holed up in your mind or your little office somewhere, and you've got the cookie, right? You've got this delicious cookie that you're gonna put out to the world, but you're not letting them have it. So what do you guys have to say about this? Has anyone ever encountered resistance when they're starting up a new product, program, or service and bringing it out to market, and experienced anything like this? Sort of an unreasonable fear about putting it out there. And as entrepreneurs, we have to put ourselves out there, right? We're very often the face of our enterprise. We're our own brand. Well, Tiffany's honest. She experiences it every single time. How many of you have ideas, either have an idea for a business if you're not in business yourself? So you have a great idea for a business, or you're in business and you have great ideas within your business that you've been sitting on for a while because the website's not up yet, or you don't have the perfect advertisement for it, or a couple of details are not completely settled, or there's some extra thing that you want to put in there. Yeah. So if we expect this, okay, because I think to a certain degree, everybody has it, okay, to one degree or another. So if we expect it ahead of time, we know, all right, we're in creative mode, we're creating something, all right, we've got this great program and we know it'll help a lot of people, and it's time to go out and bring it to market. It's time to ship it. It's time to raise the flag up the pole and see who salutes it. We expect that that resistance, we can balance it out. We can cancel it out by looking down our list of what we've written out as what we're fearful of, what we're anxious about, what all these terrible things that in our lizard brain is telling us could happen if we do this, and realizing that none of them are really so bad. Colleen, I'm sure your brownies will be delicious, and you're a great chef, so no need to doubt yourself. Now, there could be within your business, there's other aspects of things that you might not feel certain about. You might need some training in the skill sets of sales and marketing, and you absolutely should get that training, whether it's with me or someone else. But hopefully you can see the idea of the one coach in a more holistic method, because just having the sales and marketing skills and just having the systems to execute your business and sell online or whatever you're going to do, or just having the mindset alone doesn't work. So you need to have all three things. So we can think, Jimmy said, it's easy to say for me, who really wants to hear this? I think especially those of you in what I call the helping professions of like coaching and consulting of different types, or people advocating for a cause, an important cause. Who wants and needs to hear it. Okay. In most cases, you've experimented on a smaller scale, like you've cooked brownies and somebody loved your fucking brownies, or you've helped one person and perhaps change the trajectory of their life. So if it works for one, why wouldn't it work for the broader market? In some way, shape, or form. Okay, not everything that works on a small scale is going to work on a big scale, but in some way, why couldn't it be bigger? Why couldn't more people benefit from it? And if we have something good, you have to know that you have to be qualified, okay? You have to be qualified. If you're an entrepreneur that started a business around an idea, you should know that you're good at it. Okay? You may not be good at every aspect of the operations and the sales and the marketing and all these different things, but you should know basically what to do or what you need to do. And you should know that if you're talking to the right person, you can help them. Okay? So that's sort of a given. But if you have that and you're resisting putting it out there, it's actually selfish. You're doing your clients or customers a disservice. You're doing yourself a disservice. So don't wait for it to be perfect. I went to a concert on Sunday night, a couple of bands from the 80s and early 90s, Weezer and Pixies. And what struck me was that I happened to be invited to go. Some friends invited me to go, and I wouldn't have bought those tickets and done that traveling. We had to go like 2 hours away. I wouldn't have done that for those bands. Okay, they're okay, but I wouldn't have done that. But what struck me is, especially in the case of Weezer, is that because a lot of the whole arena really seemed to be there for them, even though it's a co-headlining kind of thing. The arena was there for them. And so what have they done? They have provided what I would consider to be mediocre music maybe, catchy, but as a musician, nothing to write home about. Okay. And they're not the top of the charts almost ever, but they showed up and they kind of came, like, even though they took some time off, they came back and they put out new albums. Okay. So they put out consistent, what I would call mediocre albums. Good enough that they're successful. They fill up arenas to see people to see them. So what am I getting at here? It don't have to be perfect, folks. Does not. What you got is good enough and needs to get out there. And once you put it out there, and once you actually start doing it, you're taking steps, and taking those actions will give you a different view. And it'll bring different people into your tribe and into your circle, and other doors will open. But if you're sitting all by yourself or with your team and have some good stuff brewing and never put it out there, then you just never know. You get paralyzed. So shipping, if you're going to start it, ship it. If it's worth starting, it's worth shipping. Or at least figure out that it's not worth it in the beginning. Figure it out sooner, and then scrap it and do it a different way. You'll save a lot of time and money that way. Just going to read a couple of your comments here. Another thing, Tiffany brings up a good point here, and I find this as well. Sometimes if we've mastered or reached a high level in a certain area, we forget the basics that got us there in terms of teaching it. Sometimes we forget how it was before we learned what we learned and invested the time and energy and money into our own training. And so we don't appreciate how big of a difference that would make to somebody else, even on a basic level. So keep that in mind too. So I'm not saying go out there and be mediocre. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying don't try to go out there and be perfect, because there is no perfect. Just get it together enough to put it out there to the market, and then you'll see. Okay? It's selling or it's not selling. It's helping people or not helping people. Do some people whose opinion I respect have guidance for me, not just random people. The world at large. Right? None of us are serving the world at large. We are serving a particular group of people, a particular niche that wants and needs what we have. For me, my experience is not primarily in the corporate world. It's as an entrepreneur, it's as a business owner. So I'm not coaching executives. Could I help an executive? Yeah, probably. But I can really help entrepreneurs. So that's who I market to. That's who I make offers to or invite into conversation with me to see if that might be a fit. So do all the people that are employees and not have their own businesses, do I have to please them in what I do? No. They're not my crowd. They're not my tribe. They're not my audience. What I say is going to resonate with entrepreneurs way more than it will with an executive or employee of some other sort. Not that those aren't valid things to do, just not what I have done, and therefore I work from my own experience. As an example, so who are we trying to please here? Are you worried about like the kids you grew up with and that you happen to be connected with on Facebook and what they're going to say? You know, the people who knew you back when, maybe back before you set out on this entrepreneurial journey, or you were doing something else. People who think you should be doing what you used to be doing and aren't, or shouldn't be doing, you know, or because of what you used to do, could never be doing this. I mean, it is a total mind fuck. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. And as far as what Jimmy brings up there, okay, degrees or certifications. I'm not going to knock having those things, but most of if you do some homework and do some research and look around at some of the most powerful, impactful, wealthy entrepreneurs in the world, most of them don't even have a college degree, much less some other kind of certification. Okay, they don't. I mean, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, to name a couple off the top of my head. There's a ton of them. I don't have a college degree. Did not finish college. Went, and I won't get into the whole story, but a couple of years and that was it. So what's your qualification? What's your certification? Been there, done that is a good one for most entrepreneurs. Okay, especially you coaches and consultants. You've been through the experience. You solved the problem in your own life. Now you can share how to do it with someone else. And that sort of extrapolates to other businesses as well. I mean, people invent things because they invent some kind of utensil or cooking thing because they were having, if you guys watch Shark Tank, people solve a problem. Okay, they solve a problem for themselves, and then like, well, this really works great. Let's put it out to the world, and that's what they do. So that's their certification. Colleen doesn't need a certification to make awesome brownies and sell them. Tiffany doesn't need qualifications beyond being the epic parent that she is to show other parents how to do that. Not to mention she also is a doctor, so is a medical doctor and a pediatrician. She's got qualifications up the wazoo. And yes, what we know is enough. If you've been called to be an entrepreneur, and at the time before you got into all the nuts and bolts of it and the challenges and everything else that slows you down sometimes, you had a great idea. And keep it simple. Take that great idea and start putting it out there, and you'll be amazed at what happens. But if you're feeling stuck getting started, or in this case, if you're having trouble shipping, okay, so you start something but you're not bringing it to market, hit me up for a free 15 minutes of flame conversation. It's on my One Coach page, okay? It's free, 15 minutes, full of good ideas. Maybe I can help you out. I'm running up here on the half hour, so I'm going to say goodbye to you guys for today. Tune in next time to High Noon Live. All the past episodes are on my Facebook page, The One Coach. So you can check out some of the other topics we've been over. And give me some feedback in the comments or by private message. If you like what we're talking about, if you want to talk, if you have a topic in mind that you'd like me to cover on one of these, I'm on here a few days a week at high noon, 12 Eastern. So unless anybody's got anything else, this is Brian Keith Noonan, the One Coach. Thanks for tuning in to High Noon Live, ideas to take you higher. And I'll catch you guys next time on High Noon Live. Bye-bye.